Hello everyone, and welcome back to Voxel Tales. My name is Dan, and this is episode 5 of Modded Minecraft. We're kicking things off today in the Grind Cavern, the massive space left underground by my efforts to gather resources last episode, and in the time before this one. I've decided that there was too much time lapsing last time, and so did the grinding for diamonds off camera. I appreciate that you only have my word that I mined all this legitimately, but I know I did, because I was there. And I also know that I wouldn't have wanted to sit through watching me digging for hours, no matter how sped up it was. Anyway, the takeaway here is that I managed to scrape together enough diamonds to make a full set of diamond armor, as well as a diamond pick and a diamond axe. So, not a full set of gear, but good enough for now. As you can see, I got bored of going in a straight line at this end and tried to make a left turn. I found a lot of lava for my troubles. On the plus side, my attempts to get above the lava that kept flooding into my tunnel every 2 minutes, not to mention the increasingly loud growling, led me to this spawner room. Sadly, it's a zombie spawner. I'd have preferred a skeleton one so we could get bones and bows and arrows and stuff, but we'll take what we can get. Now, something I wanted to check on camera. Oh, go away, I'm busy. As I was saying, I wanted to check if I could pick this up, because you can't move them in vanilla. Oh, I need 2 empty hands, don't I? Okay, ready? Oh, I can! I've picked it up! Please don't spawn a zombie in my face while I get this back to the base. Running. That villager's like,
Dan, is that an extremely dangerous monster spawner you're carrying?
and I'm like, don't even worry about it, it's fine! While sprinting by like a maniac. And safe. Whew, shouldn't start spitting zombies at us. Okay, what else have I done between episodes? Oh, you may have spotted this as we came in. I found it in a cave and even got footage of that, so I'll insert it here. Don't ask me why there was a prismarine room in the cave system that my mind runs through, because I haven't the foggiest. But I'm also not going to look a gift enchanting table in the mouth, and I've gradually been building up the number of bookshelves around it so we can enchant some stuff. Oh, sounds like a trader drinking. Must be bedtime. The next morning I had a word with the trader and bought as much gunpowder from him as I could afford. More on that in a sec. Out back of the shed I've set up a decent sized wheat field in hopes of speeding up cow breeding. No, and I actually organised the inventory down here. We've got proper categories now and everything. Look, we've got wood, stone, richeties and ore, miscellaneous gubbins, dirt, more cobbled deep slate than I know what to do with, the create box, I'll show you this one in a second, food, spare equipment, and seeds and plants. Right, so, that box. What's in the box? This, folks, is my gun box. I decided I wanted a long-range weapon that I had more confidence in than a bow and arrow. So I made a blueprint for a revolver, and all the necessary bits for a revolver, but I wanted to make the gun itself on camera with you guys. So let's do that. And there we go. And then this turns back into blueprints, so we can use that again for the next weapon. Fantastic. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a cowboy with a 6-shooter. Living the dream. Anyway, I bought that gunpowder so I could make more bullets. I want as many as we can get for the nether. So we combine 2 iron and coal to make enriched iron. And then we chuck it in the smelter to make hardened iron. In fact, while that's smelting, let me show you this contraption, which is actually 3 contraptions. I made a press for squishing stuff, a mixer for combining ingredients together, and a mill for grinding stuff down. These two are connected and controlled by one crank for efficiency. Alright, that iron should be cooked. Let's make some bullets real quick. Done. Right, next job. Obsidian. Because I promised we were going to the Nether, and I meant it. I think there's a lava pocket over here we can tap. Several decades later. By the time I was done, we took away about a stack and a half of obsidian, which should keep us in nether portals for a while. Speaking of which... Right, let's get ready. We'll need a flint and steel from the toolbox, some spare obsidian in case we need to beat a hasty retreat and can't get back to the portal. I emptied out luggage. And made a few torches. I also thought about enchanting something and made a couple more bookshelves, but decided to wait until I had enough to make max level enchants. Guess it's time to light this candle. Let's go to hell. The first thing I did upon arriving in the Nether was set up a waypoint back to the portal. The last thing we needed was to get lost. After making my way down the giant deathcap mushroom the portal had spawned in, the second thing I did was get attacked by a hellhound. Don't know what else I was expecting, really. Venturing a little ways away from the portal, I collected a bit of quartz and some magma blocks, and then remembered something very important. Hang on. Crap. If I run into piglins, they attack anything not wearing gold. Dang it! So back to the portal I went. Dropped off some stuff, made gold boots, and before heading back, dumped some of our experience into leveling up my stats. Alright, let's try this again. Back in the Nether, I arbitrarily chose a direction and walked in it, quickly arriving at a sheer rock face that I needed to mine through. Starting to think I should have just gone round here. Getting nowhere fast, I turned around. Tried going around. And walked right up the cliff. Ah! No! 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 Climb! 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 Still burning. Still burning. Eat! 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 Ooh. I'm convinced that if it wasn't for that diamond armor we ground for, I would have just been crispy fried. Digging out of the nook I made, I happened upon a gold deposit. Knowing I had to ideally find a blaze spawner, but equally knowing full well that the longer I stayed here the more likely I was to end up dead, I kept moving, bridging and digging my way through the unforgiving landscape until I mined right into what I thought might be a fortress, but actually turned out to just be some zombie piglins and striders hanging out in a room full of chests. No, hi guys. There was plenty of loot to be had, but even with my backpack, luggage hadn't come through the portal with me, and without him I couldn't carry everything. So I grabbed some of the more valuable looking stuff, condensed the rest into as few chests as possible, and marked the room on my map so I could come and collect everything another time. While I was on the map, I spotted a structure that could potentially be a fortress and added a waypoint, kicking myself that it was back in the direction of the portal and not even that far away from it. Incredible job, dum-dum, because why would you check the map when you arrived when you could just blunder around like an idiot? Anyway, I started working towards it. Eventually I got back to practically where we arrived, and you can see how close the fortress actually was. I mined my way up one of these fortress supports and finally made my way into the fortress proper. Not sure what the Book of Shadows is, but I've unlocked new chapters. But let's be honest, nothing called the Book of Shadows is ever going to be a good thing. What if it's got a big sticker on the cover that says, "Probably evil"? Looking around, I got the feeling that the fortress was incomplete, like someone had said, "Let's build a fortress here," and eventually got sick of clearing out mushrooms. They did help me take out these wither skeletons, mind you. I hunted around for the telltale signs of the blaze spawner area and eventually, much to my relief, found a single one, protected by something called a blaze guardian that seemed frustratingly bulletproof, so I had to soul render it into oblivion. Trying to be smart, remember the mantra? I marked the blaze spawner on the map and figured out the best way back to the portal. The plan was simple. Make a path back to the portal, go back to base and make as many empty blaze burners as possible, come back and catch blazes, and then go home. It was a good plan. The blazes didn't seem too thrilled with it though, so I had to remind them that I was a cowboy now. Right here is where the irrational side of my brain went, "Hey Dan, why don't we just take the spawner like we did with the zombie one?" And I'm easily led. Yoink! Leg it! A zombie piglin followed me through the portal, took one look at luggage and I, and noped on out of there. Oh, well, bye then. So, as I had the zombie spawner sitting right in the corner of the basement, it seemed reasonable to assume that I could put the blaze one beside it. This turned out to be a terrible assumption. Oh, dying, get outside, outside. And back outside in the sunshine it went. Turns out I need a light level of at least 11 to keep the spawner from activating, and I didn't have that kind of light in the basement. The blazes had done a number on the basement floor, and we lost a couple of bookshelves, but all in all it could have been a lot worse. I grabbed some cobblestone with the intention of building a safety box around the spawner, but it quickly evolved into this makeshift cobble and glass dome. Hopefully that'll keep them contained until I can make something more permanent. Literally, as I finished building the dome, as if somebody had been listening, the skies darkened and it started to rain. A blaze spawned inside, but thankfully not outside the dome. Right then, we've got the blaze spawner, so I guess we should make a blaze burn. How do we do that? Netherrack and iron plates, which we make with our squisher. We have 1 iron. Well, that's a small issue. I do have 9 nuggets, so technically we have 2 iron, which still isn't enough. One moment. I ended up mining into that cave where I found the prismarine room, and as well as finding more iron, I got into a fight with this monstrosity that could cast darkness and teleport called a nightmare. Oh, what are you? Luckily the soul render seemed to stun lock it and it went down pretty easily. I decided the 20 iron I'd collected would be enough for now and headed back to the shed to smelt it. While it did, I cleared up the mess the blazes made and fixed the floor. Then I smushed some iron ingots into plates. Grabbed some netherrack, and made an empty blaze burner ready to accept its new occupant. And mine. Haha, ease. In order to install the burner, I had to make a new alcove in the floor because I clearly didn't make this room tall enough. Right, we need copper and zinc. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the crank, and nothing happens. It took me a couple of minutes to figure out that I needed to feed the blaze in order for it to heat up the mixer. Oh. Yes, much better. Now I had brass, I could make brass casings. Redstone torches. And only one episode late, the redstone links for the lift. And we put one here. And one here. And we put this one in receive mode, and this one in receive mode. So, you can have multiple ones of these set to different frequencies depending on the items you put in them. For these I'm using 2 oak logs, so it'll only process a signal if it receives one from a 2 oak log transmitter, which is dead clever. One button later, and that is working. So now we go install one of those redstone links upstairs. Oh hi buddy, are you guarding my door? Fantastic. Now all we need to do is get power to the elevator. So I grabbed the water wheels, sorted my inventory, grabbed some of our abundant supply of deep slate, and got to work. I dug a water trench, mounted my water wheel backwards, and then mounted it again the other way. Well, that works at least. Made some horizontal and vertical gearboxes so I could get both pistons going in the same direction at the same time. Along with some extra shafts so it could all be connected up. Dug a tunnel out to the water wheels to make sure they lined up with the mechanism. They didn't, and needed to be lowered. I ran an enormous shaft into the tunnel. Tried to crank it, but it was too stressed. So I had to power on the water wheels. Finally figured out the gearing. And covered up the mechanism. Okay, if I've not messed all this up, when I push this button... Haha! Success! Up we go. It's slow, but it works. Okay, and back down. We're not going down. Why are we not going down? Oh, for crying out loud. It's because these pistons needed to be sticky pistons, and I am a dumb. That's why it's not going down. Rule number 1. Always assume that Dan has been dumb. Oh well, I'll just ride it without a platform until I get some slime, I suppose. At least it works. Alright guys, that's where we're going to leave off for this episode. I feel like we've got a lot more done this time. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you enjoyed the show, then consider subscribing or leaving us a cheeky like or a comment down below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and until next time, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.